Dragon Age 2 was rated M for mature by the ESRB and contains blood and gore, language, sexual content, and violence. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello everyone, my name is Amaronith and I play games for the internet, and today we're playing Dragon Age 2, Mark of the Assassin. Last time we found out the truth of Tallis' mission, that she is actually here to stop a former Ben-Hassrath named Salit, her former recruiter into the Ben-Hassrath, from selling Qunari secrets to Duke Prosper. Also that she herself is a Qunari. I think I kind of skipped over that. So this time we are traveling to the base of the mountains to stop this whole mess.
Let's get this over with, Qunari, before your assassins find us. Already I regret agreeing to spare them.
I have chosen my path. That choice should not...
Bashera!
Ooh.
I'm here to facilitate your deal with the Empress. Nothing more.
Sick.
Well...
Young man?
Names, Your Grace. It's a list of names.
What? What?
What is the meaning of this?
You asked for a weapon. I am providing it.
We expected the formula for black powder, dreadnought plans, a map of Qunari, anything. This is useless. Your Grace.
Hi.
Champion. I should have known you would turn up.
One of my many talents.
I have an excellent sense of dramatic timing. And good hair.
Joke while you can. You will not find it funny for long.
Tallis.
I said I would stop you, Salit.
And I said I would slay you if you tried.
If anyone is to do any slaying, it will be me.
The fuck is that? Oh. Well.
You should never have come here, Miranda.
You invited me.
Release the dog. What fine copies will make my home?
Avoid the venom, but hit Montfort with everything you've got.
I warned you about the venom, did I not?
We're keeping score, right?
My bed has such poor manners. Did you get a little bird? To me, Leopold!
Isn't Leopold supposed to be sick?
Leopold? Leopold! He's looking particularly sluggish today. Blasted creature.
Where?
Show them your tricks, Leopold! Get back! How sweetie! He likes you! Excellent, Leopold! Need us. I hope you enjoy my trap, Sir Eldon.
Huh?
Go down!
Watch your step.
I'll show you what it takes to fear.
Careless of you.
Ow.
Let me give you a parting gift, dear friends. On my command!
Maybe we can get him to charge into the rocks.
Maybe we could get him to charge into the rocks? Is that what was said? Got you. No. Come on. Ooh.
Keep away from me! The Empress will hear of this. Orlais will burn Kirkwall to the ground. All of you will die screaming. I swear it.
You can't be serious.
I would have tried begging for mercy, but that's just me.
You bastard! Darn him!
Thank you for the lovely party. I'll treasure the belt.
They never learn.
Looks like the Duke has fallen from grace.
Groan.
Atash Varin Kata. If the Duke only knew what he nearly had in his grasp. Thank you. There's no way I could have done this without your help.
What's the scroll?
This is a list of agents throughout Thetis. Qunari, like myself. Many of them have children, family, friends. They're people you wouldn't suspect. Some have even left a Qun behind. But if this list fell into human hands, they, and everyone they know,
Would be killed.
the Arcune believes they knew the risks. But what about the innocents? I couldn't let this happen.
Give me the scroll? No. Those agents aren't dangerous?
Maybe those agents should be discovered.
I believe in the Qun, but I am not doing this to protect the Qunari. The list doesn't distinguish innocent from guilty. It doesn't show the friends, lovers, children who... Nobody should have it.
You knew the Qunari?
You didn't mention that Salit was a friend of yours.
Yes, she did!
He trained me. I suppose, in a way, he saved me.
Hawk.
I owed him a better death.
Really? You should join me.
So what now? You aren't just going to leave, are you?
You think I would fit into your merry entourage?
Yes.
We're hardly merry.
It's true. Some of them hardly ever crack a smile.
Well, that's just sad, isn't it? Maybe some other time, Hawk. I still have a few things to do, but I am grateful. I want you to know that.
I'm a helper.
That's what I do. Feed the sick, cure the poor, pat the hungry on the head.
Kill nasty Orlesians.
Are there any other kind?
Oh, before I forget. That was going to be the heart of the many. You'd find a jewel, while I'd go off and find Salit, and be back before anyone was the wiser. I suppose nothing ever goes like we plan, does it? Take care of yourself, Hawk. Maybe we'll meet again, sometime.
If you've been flirting with her the whole time, like, you get to kiss her.
You haven't
I guess.
seen Tallis since that day.
A safe assumption, given her nature.
And who is left to appease Orlais after a duke's murder at the hands of the champion of Kirkwall?
Prosper invited it by dealing with Talvis, possibly under orders from Empress Celene. Imagine the scandal if that was known.
If you believe a Qunari agent.
Well, that's the difficult part, isn't it? I don't know why Hawk helped Tallis. I suppose she was pretty for a Qunari. Whatever the reason, I doubt it's the last we've seen of her.
It actually is.
What do I know? I just tell stories.
And with that, that is the end of Mark of the Assassin. This is pointless, but you never know. And with that, we're done with Dragon Age 2. I'm not sure why it insists that my writing desk has something. It does not.
Always at your service, champion.
So this is it. It's the last of the game. I have a lot of feelings about this game. That it's, like I said in the very beginning, this game suffers from my dude, Harley, I'm talking. I'm having a very serious conversation with my viewers. Sir! This game has I don't want to call it bad writing because it's not entirely bad, but as I said at the very beginning, there is a very unreliable narrator. I'll put it that way. We have Varric, who is the one telling the story, and we see everything Varric says through the eyes of Cassandra Pentecost, seeker for the Chantry. And so there are things in this game that come off as limited writing, I guess, because you've got the game takes place over the course of 7 years, right? And you have Fenris, who never relents on all magic is bad, all mages are evil, every mage is out to become a blood mage. if you give them half a chance, but, like, unrelenting suspicion. And then you have Anders, with mages deserve to be, you know, free and out from under the thumb of the Chantry and, you know, free to do what they want. And I'm gonna blow up the Chantry so that we can, you know, be taken seriously. And, like, they never have a conversation with one another that, like, Anders seems so extreme in this game. Like, if you picked other options when Daenerys had come to get Fenris because of his sister, Anders actually says, just give him back and send him back to Tevinter. And I personally cannot believe that someone like Anders, who's fighting so hard for mage freedom, wouldn't see elven slavery as being in the same boat. Like, I can't. Like, there's no way he'd be so blind. So I have to wonder, is Anders written so aggressively off-putting the way he is in this game? Or at least I find him aggressively off-putting. Like, I like him as a character, but also, like, some of the things that he says and does in the game really, really put me off. And, like lying to you about building the bomb that blew up the Chantry, and, like, not telling you what he was doing, and just leaving you in the dark about the whole thing. Like, I wish there was a way for you to find out what he was doing before he did it, if only to be given the choice of, you know, yes, I'll help you, or no, I want no part of this. Like, I don't know. It's so hard for me to put it into words. I have before, but I can't seem to do it now that it's just us one-on-one. And, I don't know. Like, I love this game so much. Even with Anders blowing up the Chantry and causing a war, because you know what? He was right. As horrible as it was, and as much damage as it's done to everything, there was no way the mages would be taken seriously. But also, like, sure, the mages are now being taken seriously, but it's now like you've confirmed literally every fear anyone's ever had about mages all at once. And it's definitely going to be really interesting to see what happens in Inquisition as a result of everything. Like, I know what happens. I've played Inquisition a million times, but, like, I also don't always remember all the details, and also, like, this is my playthrough for the LP, and, like, there are things that happen. Like, I've never lost Isabella before when I played this game. But I also haven't played this game all that much. Not as much as I've played Inquisition. So, the last bit of this episode, now that I've talked myself in a circle and actually not said anything, I'm sorry about that. I just have so many feelings, and I can't put them into words. So now that I've done that, I'm going to read off the Codex entries that we collected throughout Mark of the Assassin, and then we're done. So if you don't want to stay for the Codex entries, you can head off here, and I'll see you in Dragon Age Inquisition, I hope. But until then, take care of yourselves, be safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Those of you who stick around for the Codex entries, thanks. So, Codex entries, starting with creatures. Ghast. The Ghast is a small, vicious creature that dwells in mountain caves. One is little more than a nuisance and will flee if threatened. A pack of 5 or more, however, is much bolder and can easily overwhelm a bear. Although Ghasts are cunning and able to cooperate for survival, they show no signs of true intelligence. They are unable to speak, communicating only through grunts and squeals. Occasionally, a pack of Ghasts will include the strange creature known as the Velgastriel. Unlike the common Ghast, the Velgastriel can wield magic. Some assume that they first learned by lurking around and watching other mages. Others believe that Ghasts, like animals, are sensitive to the unseen forces that shape our world, and that the Velgastriel is able to utilize magic purely through instinct. It is unknown if Velgastriels risk possession when casting spells, as other humanoid mages do. And Wyvern. The Wyvern, like its relative the dragon, has nearly been hunted to extinction. Wealthy Orlesians are particularly fond of the Wyvern chase, although their servants and dogs take the risks while the noblemen merely accept the praise. It is the venom that makes the creature so valuable. It's used in potion making, alchemy, and the production of rare and potent liquor called aquae lucidius. The minuscule quantity of the venom remaining in the aquae after distillation leads to a unique hallucinatory effect. Testimonies from a few of those fortunate enough to sample the costly concoction, I feel confused but happy. It was as though my soul took wing and floated about my head. I had a vision of my great-grandmother and found it oddly arousing. I can see through time! Nothing in items. Places. Chateau Haine. Chateau Haine, situated on the western verge of the Vimark Mountains, is one of the many estates of the illustrious de Montfort family of Orlais. Duc Prosper de Montfort was vacations at the estate frequently, particularly during wyvern hunting season. The structure was built in the late in the Black Age for the Lord Norbert de la Haine, whose treasonous schemes to seize power in the Free Marches led to a call for his execution. Lord Norbert escaped to what was then the Fortress Haine and barricaded himself within. The siege lasted 100 days. Eventually, Antivan crows slit the lord's throat while he slept. The estate's scandalous past left it unoccupied for long thereafter. When the Fourth Blight ravaged the Free Marches, Fortress Haine served as a garrison for the Grey Wardens. The Wardens dug a hollow into the mountain's interior, When the Darkspawn attacked Kirkwall and Cumberland, citizens of both cities took refuge in the caves, which came to be known as the Retreat. After the Wardens left victorious, Fortress Haine was presented to Sir Gaston de Montfort, a Chevalier of Orlais. The building was converted from military keep to pleasure palace and rechristened Chateau Haine. From Portrait of the Free Marches by Guillaume von der Hout. I don't know how to say that name. I apologize. Lore. Lady Amandine du Val. Lady Amandine du Val arrived at the court of the Emperor Corentin, aged only 15, and by all accounts took it by storm. Her bright gold hair, expressive eyes, and graceful mannerisms endeared her to all. The Emperor's sister, Lady Charlotte, wrote, "Little Amandine is a true delight, such sparkling wit, and oh, those dainty feet flitting across the ballroom. She is spring come upon our tired court." This adoration did not last long, however. Not a year after her arrival, little Amandine became enchanted with a bard who taught her swordplay, amongst other things. Being young and nimble, Amandine took to blades like a fish to water. Seduced by the life of romance and high adventure, she ran away from court dressed as a boy. In the years that followed, Amandine became a sailor, a highway robber, and a courtesan. Once she was betrothed to the Emperor's cousin. At age 44, Amandine entered into a cloister. She remained there till the end of her life and died a penitent. From Gallery of the Knaves, a portrait book compiled by Lady Wilhelmina Bonchance. The Ben-Hassrath. The Oxmen do not kill their prisoners. The Qun abhors waste, and a person is a valuable commodity. Instead of death, we find ourselves housed in a labor camp run by the Ben-Hassrath. They call us Cabathare, simple ones, and this was where we were to be inducted into the Qun. The accommodations were no match for the State Inn in Minrathous, but we never expected them to be. Our dormitory was kept spotless, and we were fed 3 meals of bland but nourishing porridge. 3 daily meals of a bland but nourishing porridge. Water and a strong unsweetened tea were always available as well. Both males and females are chosen to join the Ben-Hassrath, which struck me as peculiar. I'd always heard that the Qunari drew distinctions between what counted as men's work and women's work. Thinking on it, however, perhaps it makes sense. The Ben-Hassrath are responsible for re-education and the assimilation of conquered peoples. Both women and men, in my experience, relate better to those of their own sex. It is thus prudent to choose women for the re-education of women and children, and men for that of men. To their credit, the Ben-Hassrath were never cruel. They were always reasonable, if firm. I played along, repeating what they taught, but holding in my heart the truths by which I was raised. Others were not so clever. Some of my platoon resisted the indoctrination, refusing even to pretend. The Ben-Hassrath see rebellion and discontent as an illness that can be cured, and they took these men to the Vidathlok temples, dedicated to healing and recovery. I do not know what happened there. The men who returned were changed in profound ways. Others we never saw again. I can only assume the cure did not take. From memoirs of an imperial soldier captured at sea. A library of distinction. It was with no small flair that Duke Prosper de Montfort offered a home to the exiled Esme de Joly's considerable library of social graces, including the ever-growing volumes of courtly prominence so carefully logged by the dedicated scholars of Her Majesty's intimate circle. It was an act of charity to a former enemy that, while earning a considerable influence, was no small expense of delivery. De Montfort downplayed these elements with customary charm, insisting that he accepted this burden with the increase in status firmly second among his considerations. It is an honor to be honored when the literary lineage is the true benefactor. De Joly can rest well knowing that I hold his treasured tomes, where none shall harm or read them. If he is allowed to encroach upon Orlesian territory in some distant time, perhaps he can petition to visit them. A library of distinction, notes on the dispensing of the holdings of the disgraced Esme de Joly, collected and edited by Delcy Veland in service of Duc Prosper de Montfort. The Chevaliers. I remember as a child watching a column of Chevaliers parade down a wide avenue in Val-Royal. Dashing knights on armored steeds, pennants snapping in the breeze, I have never forgotten. Most of the Orlesian aristocracy has ties to the Chevaliers. Joining the knighthood and dedicating one's life to the empire is a tried and true method to improve one's social standing. It is the obvious choice for the landless nobles and noble children not in line to inherit. The knighthood welcomes both men and women, although it is rare for a woman to choose the harsh life of a chevalier over the gentle bliss of marriage and children and the peace of the chantry. Or the peace of the chantry. Those who are following in the footsteps of the first woman knight, Aveline, but we hope that not all meet as ghastly an end as she did. Sadly, some members of the Order abuse their power to commit atrocities that will not be recounted here. All decent Orlesians know them to be no true knights. One day they shall answer to the Maker himself. From Orlais, A Modern History by revered Mother Laetitia. Portrait of the Dowager. The Orlesians have a saying, you must dance with the Dowager if you want to play the game. To a foreigner, this might sound like some sort of proverb. In fact, Dowager Lady Montillon has been one of the most influential members of the imperial court for over 30 years, and nobody advances in the game without her favor. The rumors surrounding her are many. She was Emperor Florian's mistress. She was Florian's assassin. She placed Empress Celene on the throne. She once killed a rival with only harsh words. She rules Orlais from the shadows. One thing is certain, however. If you must have the best society in Orlais, ask a dance of the Dowager. From A Guide to Good Society by Lady Alcyon. Pride and Rider. An image in oil of the last pure Enderfell stabled at court, before the practice of mounted sport fell from favor. This is an absolutely iconic and typical example of the artist. The work preserves the true majesty of a species that, while in abundance on their natural plains, becomes exotic to a people who eschew mounted travel in their daily existence. An ambitious work, often referred to as Pride and Rider, it is part of a series of similarly themed canvases which, for reasons known only to the creator, were labeled "And Went the Griffin." Auction notes for the works of Bouget, Ponchevides, a catalogue of the foreign and lost dispensed by the holding house of Therein and Whatnot. Qunari of other races. Many believe that Qunari is the name of the race of horned behemoths from the north. They are mistaken. Qunari means people of the Qun. There are elves, humans, and even dwarves who have submitted to the Qun, who think of themselves as Qunari. All soldiers of the Imperium must remain aware of this fact. Any person could be a Qunari spy. Elves seem particularly susceptible to conversion. New converts uniformly become zealots, either of their own volition or as a result of the Ben-Hassrath's re-education. Yet the converts still understand our culture as only those born to it can. They can move unnoticed into Winterlands. If elven, they may even return themselves to slavery. These spies, as long as they remain undiscovered, will pass sensitive information to Parvolan. They may even try to convert others by sowing doubt and uncertainty. Every Imperial soldier must watch for this treachery. From a lecture to new recruits of the Tevinter army. Uncertainty. In uncertainty, find infinite possibility. An old Orlesian saying. characters. Characters. Duc Prosper de Montfort. Duc Prosper is the head of the powerful Montfort dynasty, the descendants of Sir Gaston de Montfort, a chevalier who rose to prominence during the Fourth Blight. Prosper de Montfort is a close personal friend of Empress Celene and a perennial fixture at the Empress's annual spring fete. He spends most of his time outside Orlais, either on personal business for the Empress or vacationing at his estates in Navarra and the Free Marches. Note, titles other than Lord or Lady and Emperor or Empress were abolished during Emperor Cordelius Dracon's reign. Duc Prosper uses his title only in his private dealings or when traveling beyond Orlais' borders. At court he is addressed as Lord Prosper de Montfort. From Lifestyles of the Wealthy and Politically Influential by Lady Jonquelle Séverine. Empress Celene I of Orlais. Empress Celene I is arguably the most powerful woman in Thedas. No other nation rivals Orlais in wealth or power, and Celene is Orlais personified. Rumor and scandals surround the Empress's rise to the throne, and it is difficult to separate truth from fiction. Celene is the daughter of the late Emperor Florian's younger sister, and others in the family held stronger claims when Florian died. Court rumors at the time implied that Celene had her uncle assassinated, and then schemed against her older cousins to challenge their right to rule. Regardless of how she came to the throne, Celene quickly proved that it was exactly where she belonged. The mad Florian's rule had brought the empire to the brink of collapse. Celene was its savior. Orlais has never been quite so peaceful or prosperous as it is now. The Empress highly values education and learning and is an ardent patron of the arts. The aristocracy, in order to impress her, has followed suit, leading to a rebirth of Orlesian culture. From Orlais, A Modern History, by revered Mother Laetitia. Letters and Notes. The Wine of Chateau Haine. Don't you wish you could have been invited to the Duke's party? Oh, everything is so splendid here and so Orlesian. The decorations, the company, the food, and just thinking about the wine sends me into a giddy fit. The Duke spares no expense, truly. I hear he has it brought in from Valchevant, just for these parties. He has whole crews of thick, simple-minded Fereldans to carry his barrels of wine up the mountain, and they're too stupid to know that what they carry is worth more than what they earn in a year. It's so funny. Fifi and I actually saw the laborers. One rolled down the mountain and crashed to the bottom. It was such a shame. I almost died seeing all that gorgeous red seeping into the ground. Or maybe that was from the laborer. Well, whatever. An excerpt from a letter written by Babette de Lancey to her brother Emile. And with that, that is the final Codex Entries of the game. And now it is truly over. I hope to see you all next time when I play Dragon Age Inquisition. Until then, please take care of yourselves. Be safe. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.